The importance of the gospel that I believe in. You know, it's been said that there are false gospels out there. People preaching a gospel that's not even real. And I've been told by several people, several friends, people that really are close to me and know me well, that I ought to be preaching. And I always laugh, you know. I find it kind of rather amusing that, because I know my problems. I know I'm not altogether there. And a lot of the people that dislike me will definitely point all that out. My own conscience points it out. The gospel I believe in is uh, is definitely different than the mainstream Christians. The gospel I believe in doesn't leave room for judgment at all. The only judgment we are allowed to make in the gospel I believe in is on our own selves, on our own actions. And the scripture as I know it completely backs up what it is that I see. There's no errant belief in it. You weigh the word by the word, as it said. It starts with a proverb that says that love covers over a multitude of sins. Love covers over a multitude of sins. It is the duty of God to cover a man. It is the duty of a king to search him out and throw him in jail. I find that interesting when you think about that, and then you apply it to what Jesus actually did when he came to the earth. Picture the root of the gospel when he finds the woman caught in adultery. What he says to her after they leave: "Woman, is there no one here left to condemn you?" And she says, "No, Lord, they've all gone." And he says, "Well, then I forgive you. Go forth and sin no more." Now, right there, so many people will focus on the one thing, which is the "go forth and sin no more" part of what he's saying. Not at all seeing the big part, the treasure of that statement has nothing to do with sinning no more. Not that not that I'm condoning sin and saying, "Oh, well, what are you saying, Chris? Are you saying that it's okay to sin? Are you going Pauline on us?" No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that the biggest part of that is that in sin in your life, if somebody comes up to you and says to you, "You must not do this, that, and the other thing," and it's something that you've had a habit of doing and that you enjoy doing, well, you're going to say, "Well, who are you?" It's not going to have the same weight as if somebody that you deeply care about, who's given you nothing but love and consolation and has been your helper and your aid, came up and said to you, "I really wish you wouldn't do that because it hurts me or it affects me in this and thus a way." Love ultimately is the greatest motivator. If fear is the greater motivator, if fear is the way we're getting people to do things for us, that's not of the Spirit. Jesus didn't get anyone to do anything by fear. There was nothing in fear in what he was saying. The only people he cast fear to were the people casting fear on others. And he said to them directly, he directly said this to them: "You not only let people have their freedom by finding it, but you block the way and you add more weight to their already burdened shoulders." This was what he said to the Pharisees. Why? Because they weren't being loving in what they were doing. For them, it was more of a matter of moral value, moral codes. Like they'd walk around showing that they lived up to this rule and they lived up to that rule and this rule and that rule and this rule. And they would walk around like the security watchdogs on everyone else, not paying attention to the fact that they were allowing leniencies in some things within themselves. And that's how he got them to walk away from her in the first place. Which of you who does not have sin, let him make the first judgment. Basically, he was saying, you don't deserve to sit on the throne of judgment. Even I don't judge. He says, look, not even the Son judges. I leave all judgment to the Father, he says. How many times did they continue to say to him, what are you saying, you're God? And he'd turn around and say, no, because I say that I'm the Son of God, you're determined to kill me. Who's trying to kill you? The responses were always the same. It's not enough to say that you believe in Jesus. This leads into the other side of the gospel that so many Christians believe that I don't. It's not enough to say that you believe in Jesus. He calls us into loving like him. Okay? Demonstrate your faith in me, in who I am, by becoming like me. When you fall in love with someone, at least for me, I want to learn everything there is to know about that person in order to be closer to them. I mean, think about this. You see this person, you want to get near them. How do you get near them? You want to enjoy what they're enjoying. You want to be what they're being. It's not that you're giving up yourself. See, there's a false, erroneous thing in the world saying, well, you can't give up yourself and you can't love anybody else until you love yourself and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I've heard this all before. But when you fall in love with somebody, you want to be with that person to a degree with which, yes, you do sacrifice of yourself. You sacrifice of yourself because being with that person is so much more important to you than your own little game, whatever it is that you're into. You want to lay down your life. What did he do for us? He asked us the same. The greatest love is to lay down your life for your brothers and sisters. Of course, the military uses that in a way of saying, oh, yeah, you got to honor this. No, laying down your life isn't just going out into the field with a gun and shooting somebody that you consider bad. Laying down your life goes a lot deeper than that. Laying down your life gets into a realm of what I'm talking about now. It's the idea that your love surpasses your judgment. And the other thing is I'll hear Christians everywhere saying, oh, only Jesus and God, only Jesus can forgive sins, blah, blah, blah. We don't have the power. Then why is it that he implores us to have mercy on our brothers and sisters around us? To the parable of the unmerciful servant. Now, this is where I get into the parable of the unmerciful servant is just the baseline for what I believe to be the gospel. That's how we're to live the rest of our lives. There's two thrones you can sit on in life, judgment and mercy. And I sure as heck think that when he gets back, I'd rather be sitting on the throne of mercy than judgment. So yes, if there's a world full of people out there casting judgments at other people, I would rather be the one that's merciful. And as sick and twisted as people may think I am because of my own weaknesses, I'm just like the woman laying on the ground ready to be stoned to death. That's me. I know who I am, okay? But these other people standing around in a circle casting their stones of slander, gossip, all this other stuff at me, those are all stones, and they're hitting me hard, okay? But these people that want to throw those stones, that consider themselves better, are just like those Pharisees standing around in that circle. That's not love. Love has nothing to do with the slander, the gossip, the lies. That's all the devil's tongue. That's why he called them children of the devil. They were accusers. They used where they were as a leverage point in order to hold others down. That's exactly what he was saying to them. If you are doing that kind of thing in your life, it doesn't matter what you believe about Jesus. If you're acting like a Pharisee and claiming that all you need to do is believe in Jesus and you'll be saved, that's not true. It's the Pharisees. There were a lot of Pharisees that believed in Jesus, but who are the ones that were following? Those are the ones those are the people that will have a chance to sit at the master's table in the final days. That's it. Am I speaking to you about what God thinks and what God knows? No, I'm speaking to you about God's love as I've experienced it in my own life. Am I a sinner? Yes. Do sinners experience God's love? As far as I know, Jesus went out to the people that were sick, not the people that were well. And I can completely confess to the fact that I am sick. I need him. There is no good part of Christian Hobbes without Jesus Christ. So if I talk about him, as I said in the last video, it's because I love him and he loves me. And blessed is the man who loves God, for he's known by God. I'll quote Paul in saying that. So anyway, I would hope that you would consider this, because this is the true gospel. As far as I see it, love is the only thing that get a man to stop doing what he's doing wrong. Fear will never work.